The broadcast came through every channel, every screen, and every device. The alien general's visage filled the airwaves, his angular, otherworldly face twisted into a sneer. His voice was sharp and guttural, translated with eerie precision. "Humans," he began, "you are cowards. You cling to your fragile lives, hiding behind false bravado. Your species is weak, unfit to stand against the might of the Zevthorian Empire. Surrender now, and perhaps we will allow a fraction of your kind to serve us as slaves. Resist, and your extinction will be swift and total." His glowing eyes burned into the camera as he delivered the ultimatum, his contempt unmistakable. The message ended abruptly, leaving silence in its wake, but the implications hung heavy. Humanity was outmatched, their very survival hanging by a thread. The Zevthorians were conquerors of the highest order, a race that had subjugated countless species across the galaxy. Their fleets were unmatched, their soldiers augmented with cybernetic enhancements, and their technology centuries ahead of Earth's. They had crushed entire civilizations, leaving ruins where proud empires once stood. To them, humans were nothing but an inconvenience, another primitive species destined to bow or break. Their disdain was rooted in centuries of dominance. To the Zevthorian general, this conquest was just another line in a long history of triumphs. The general himself was a symbol of their power. Scarred and massive, his body was a testament to countless battles. Every scar was a story, every cybernetic implant a reminder of the Zevthorian mastery over life and death. In his mind, humanity's fate was sealed. Their resistance was an insult, their survival nothing more than a temporary anomaly. The general's voice echoed through the alien fleet, rousing his soldiers to prepare for the inevitable victory. In a fortified underground bunker, Earth's leaders gathered in desperation. The air was thick with tension, the room illuminated by the faint glow of holographic displays. Conversations were heated, arguments erupting over the best course of action. Some advocated surrender, hoping to save what little could be preserved. Others demanded defiance, even if it meant annihilation. The cold reality was undeniable. Earth's defenses were laughable against the Zevthorian war machine. One voice cut through the noise. The president, weary yet resolute, addressed the room. "We cannot surrender. Humanity has faced extinction before, and we have always found a way to survive. But we must think differently. Brute force won't win this war." Silence followed, the weight of his words sinking in. A military commander, known for his unorthodox strategies, leaned forward. "We send one," he said. The room erupted again, voices clamoring with disbelief and confusion. "One soldier," he repeated, his tone firm. "A small team would be detected. A fleet would be obliterated. But one can slip through. One can strike where it hurts." The absurdity of the idea was evident, but so was the logic. Humanity had one shot, and it had to be a precision strike, not a full-scale assault. The soldier stepped into the room, and the debate died instantly. Clad in worn combat gear, their presence was magnetic. Their face was lined with scars, each one a testament to battles fought and won. They carried themselves with an unshakable calm, a quiet confidence that demanded respect. This was not a soldier who sought glory. This was a soldier who got the job done. The president turned to them, eyes heavy with the burden of what he was about to ask. "This mission, it's impossible," he said, his voice breaking slightly. "But you're our best chance. Are you willing to do this?" The soldier didn't flinch, didn't hesitate. They simply nodded, their voice steady. "I was born for the impossible." No grand speeches followed, no theatrics. The soldier understood the weight of the mission, and that was enough. As they turned to leave, every person in the room felt a flicker of hope, a fragile but fierce belief that maybe, just maybe, one human could be enough. The soldier stood before the briefing panel, the room eerily quiet save for the soft hum of machinery. The plan was stark in its simplicity. They were to be launched in a stealth pod, equipped with bare essentials, a multi-tool, a compact hacking device, and a rifle modified for silent operations. The mission's goal was vague. Cause maximum disruption. But the implication was clear. Survival was secondary to inflicting damage on the Zevthorian flagship. Humanity's hopes rested not on overwhelming firepower but on adaptability and ingenuity. "You'll be alone," the technician warned as they sealed the pod. "No backup. If something goes wrong." The soldier cut them off with a curt nod, their focus absolute. There was no need for reassurances. They understood the stakes. Moments later, the pod launched, a silent dart against the endless void, slipping past alien scanners with precision-born stealth. The Zevthorian flagship loomed ahead, a monolithic fortress bristling with defenses. Its surface glowed with intricate patterns of energy conduits, and its sheer scale dwarfed anything humanity had ever conceived. As the pod latched onto an unmonitored maintenance hatch, the soldier moved with calculated precision. They disembarked, already anticipating the challenges to come. Inside, the air was sterile and thick, faintly tinged with metallic undertones. The ship's corridors were labyrinthine, lined with alien symbols that offered no guidance. Surveillance drones hovered silently, their sharp movements a constant threat. The soldier crouched in the shadows, analyzing their patterns before darting forward. A multi-tool in hand, they quickly rewired a control panel, redirecting a patrol route to clear their path. Navigating the alien environment was a test of creativity and quick thinking. At one point, they encountered a biometric lock that scanned not just fingerprints but an alien's unique energy signature. Thinking fast, they scavenged a discarded Zevthorian gauntlet, reverse engineering its components to simulate the signature. The lock clicked open, and they slipped through, leaving no trace. Deeper into the ship, the soldier encountered a storage room filled with alien weaponry. Tempting as it was to take one, they knew it would compromise their stealth. Instead, they analyzed the alien tech, gleaning insights that might aid them later. Their adaptability stood in stark contrast to the rigid, over-engineered nature of the Zevthorian systems. Meanwhile, aboard the ship's bridge, the alien general reviewed reports from his subordinates. "A human presence? Preposterous," he scoffed, his voice dripping with disdain. "No human could penetrate our defenses. These anomalies are mere coincidences, nothing more." His officers hesitated but knew better than to challenge his arrogance. The general's confidence was absolute, rooted in centuries of domination. To him, humans were predictable, their methods primitive. He dismissed the notion of a lone infiltrator as laughable, further emphasizing the gulf between the two species' understanding of warfare. Back in the depths of the ship, the soldier faced their most significant obstacle yet, a heavily monitored energy relay station that powered much of the ship's critical systems. Direct access was impossible, the area swarming with drones and automated turrets. They needed a distraction. Examining the environment, they noticed a redundant subsystem running parallel to the main conduits. Using their hacking device, they overloaded the subsystem, causing a controlled surge that drew the drones away. As alarms blared, the soldiers slipped into the relay station. Inside, they worked quickly, rewiring circuits and planting small but effective sabotage devices. The Zevthorian technology was advanced but inflexible, designed for precision rather than resilience. Exploiting this rigidity, the soldier rigged a feedback loop that would cascade through the ship's systems, causing widespread disruptions. As they completed their task, a group of Zevthorian guards entered unexpectedly. Cornered, the soldier used the environment to their advantage, triggering an emergency bulkhead closure to isolate the guards. With seconds to spare, they activated the sabotage and escaped through a maintenance shaft. The first signs of chaos rippled through the ship almost immediately. Lights flickered, and control systems began to malfunction. On the bridge, the general's smug demeanor cracked as reports of widespread disruptions flooded in. "Impossible!" he bellowed, his arrogance giving way to disbelief. "Find the cause and eliminate it." Unseen and undeterred, the soldier moved deeper into the ship, already preparing for the next phase of their mission. They were not just surviving, they were winning, one step at a time. The soldier moved through the final corridor with precision, their steps silent, their breathing controlled. The command center loomed ahead, its entrance guarded by an intricate locking mechanism. A hacking device in hand, They bypassed layers of alien security in seconds, slipping inside before any alert could be raised. The room was vast and alien in its design. Walls pulsed with shifting light patterns, displaying real-time tactical overlays of the surrounding star systems. At the center of it all stood the alien general, his imposing frame dominating the space. When he turned, the sight of the human soldier froze him momentarily. "You dare set foot here?" he snarled, his voice a deep, resonant growl. His glowing eyes narrowed, scanning the intruder with a mix of disdain and fury. "One human alone? Your species truly doesn't understand its place." The soldier raised their weapon but didn't fire. "We understand it perfectly," they said, their voice calm but edged with defiance. "We just don't accept it." The general stepped forward, his movements deliberate, his tone mocking. "You think you can intimidate me? A lone, fragile creature in a sea of strength? This is the difference between us, human. You rely on desperation. We rely on dominance. Cowardice hides behind clever tricks. True power confronts its enemy head-on." The soldier didn't flinch. "Cowardice? No, we're survivors. While you rely on brute force, we adapt. While you conquer, we endure. Every battle you've fought, every species you've crushed, they couldn't outthink you. But humanity? We don't just fight harder. We fight smarter." The general's expression hardened. "Arrogant words from a species that trembles at the sight of my fleet. Your tricks may have caused chaos, but they'll amount to nothing. You are alone. Your people are weak." The soldier took a step closer, their gaze unwavering. "You think being alone is a weakness? You don't understand humanity at all. One of us is all it takes. Because one of us can turn your strengths into weaknesses. And that's exactly what I've done." As the soldier spoke, the general's console flickered. He turned to see his tactical display dissolving into static. "What is this?" he roared, slamming his fist into the controls. The soldier lowered their weapon, gesturing around them. "This ship of yours, your so-called fortress, was built for conquest, not defense. Your systems are interconnected, automated, dependent on a singular, rigid structure. I've introduced a little chaos. A feedback loop in your energy matrix. Your own technology will tear itself apart in minutes." The general's fury gave way to something more unsettling: uncertainty. "Impossible. Our systems are perfect. No primitive being could outmaneuver us. Perfection is brittle," the soldier replied. "And your overconfidence? That's your greatest flaw." The ship shuddered violently, alarms blaring as entire sections began to lose power. The pulsing lights in the command center dimmed, replaced by warning indicators. The general turned back to the soldier, his arrogance shattered. "You think this will stop us? Even if you destroy this ship, the fleet will remain. We will come for your world, and we will end you." The soldier met his gaze unshaken. "You might destroy Earth. But you won't forget us. You'll remember this: how one human infiltrated your strongest defenses and turned your own power against you. And your empire? It won't be the same after today. You'll always wonder if one of us is already inside, ready to do it again." The general lunged forward, his massive frame crashing toward the soldier in a final act of desperation. But the soldier anticipated the move, dodging with precision and triggering a remote device. The reinforced door slammed shut between them, sealing the general inside as the room began to collapse under the cascading system failures. "You underestimated us," the soldier said, their voice echoing through the failing intercom. "And that's why we'll win. Not through strength, but through resilience." The soldier retreated through the maintenance corridors, leaving the alien general behind to face the consequences of his hubris. Each step was deliberate, every movement efficient. The mission wasn't over yet, but humanity had already delivered its message. They were not to be underestimated. The soldier sprinted through the crumbling corridors of the Zevthorian flagship, the ship's internal systems tearing themselves apart with each passing second. Sparks rained from exposed conduits, and the distant rumble of collapsing structures echoed like thunder. Reaching the hangar bay, they found a sleek alien transport ship. It was their only chance of escape. With swift, calculated movements, they accessed the ship's controls, bypassing its alien security with the knowledge gained during their infiltration. The engines roared to life as the hangar doors struggled to open, half disabled by the cascading failures throughout the ship. The transport surged forward, narrowly escaping into the vacuum of space just as the flagship's core erupted in a massive, fiery explosion. Navigating the debris field was a trial in itself. The soldier weaved through tumbling wreckage, evading both the collapsing remnants of the flagship and the patrols of Zevthorian fighters scanning for survivors. Each near miss heightened the tension, but their focus never wavered. Finally, after what felt like an eternity, they breached the enemy's outer perimeter and set a course for Earth. On the remains of the flagship, the alien general lay pinned beneath fallen debris, his once imposing figure battered and defeated. Smoke and the acrid scent of burning circuitry filled the air. For the first time in his life, he felt the sting of humiliation. Humanity, a species he had dismissed as insignificant, had outmaneuvered him. As he struggled to free himself, his mind raced. How had they done it? How had one human, alone, dismantled an empire's pride and joy? He had underestimated their unpredictability, their ability to adapt. This wasn't just a failure of defense, it was a failure of understanding. Humanity wasn't weak, it was dangerous in ways he couldn't have foreseen. Across the fleet, whispers of doubt began to spread among the Zevthorian hierarchy. Reports of the incident painted a picture of vulnerability, a chink in the armor of their seemingly invincible empire. For the first time, they faced the unsettling reality that humanity wasn't just a nuisance, it was a threat. Back on Earth, the soldiers' return was met with an eruption of celebration. Crowds gathered in every major city, their cheers echoing through the streets as the news spread. The lone soldier had not only survived but had delivered a crushing blow to the Zevthorian war machine. The soldier, still bearing the scars of their mission, was greeted by the president and other global leaders. There were no speeches, no grand ceremonies, just a simple salute exchanged between the soldier and the president. In that moment, the world seemed to hold its breath, united in awe and gratitude. This victory was more than a tactical win. It was a spark that ignited a newfound unity among humanity. For years, Earth had been fractured by conflicts and divisions, but now, inspired by the soldiers' courage, nations came together with a shared purpose: to prepare for whatever challenges lay ahead. The lesson was clear: humanity's strength lay not just in its ingenuity but in its ability to rally together in the face of insurmountable odds. In the final moments, Earth's leaders sent a broadcast across the stars, a response to the Zevthorian general's initial taunts. The president stood before a camera, their voice steady and resolute. To those who see us as weak, as cowards, know this. We may be small, but we are resilient. We may be few, but we are determined. Never underestimate what one human can achieve. Today was just the beginning. The broadcast ended, but its message reverberated across the galaxy. Humanity had announced itself as a force to be reckoned with, not through overwhelming might, but through unwavering resolve. As the soldier watched the broadcast from a quiet corner, they allowed themselves a small, rare smile. The fight was far from over, but humanity had proven its worth. And the stars would never forget.